we're going to have several news today about mostly Warhammer. There's gonna be some gaming Lara Croft stuff at the end, maybe not, if we can get to there. So first of all, Female Custodes potential miniature shown soon, which by soon I mean maybe today even. And Female Custodes misrepresentation of reality, we're gonna talk about that. Female Space Marine heads, it's like almost 2 or 3 topics at once. And then second, Games Workshop has banned AI in Warhammer 40k's design. 3, Games Workshop announces new Warhammer world in America. Games Workshop addresses long wait for Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k shows. And the other non-40k news, Sophie Turner suits up as Lara Croft in first look at Amazon's Tomb Raider series. And 6, Henry Cavill Superman is literally whole personified, says Zack Snyder, a new image that's gonna be for the superhero channel if we get to there. Okay, so guys, like I've said, we're gonna try to address comments after each section, but minimally because we have no physical time today. So, are you ready, Tsunami?
I am.
A bit of introduction, like a year ago, me and Marshall Bohemian had an interview together on the Warhammer 40k channel, and that was about how Female Custodes came to be. He was kind enough to give me an interview, for which of course I'm grateful for, but since then we had some other news. I mean, we had many news, and what he said then and there, and I did say take that with a grain of salt, doesn't seem to be true at all. And basically what he said, and if you like you can watch it of course, he said that some intern messed up stuff, and they wrote Female Custodes somehow, and then GW were angry, heads rolled, people were fired, and it was all a big mistake, but what they're now running with it, so none of that made any sense. And fast forward, then there was news that the Female Custodes were not featured in an encyclopedia, and that was like, oh no, they're cancelled now, Female Custodes do not exist because they're cancelled. Well, it turns out when I looked into it, that the company that makes this encyclopedia, they're not even directly GW, and this was printed out, already created before the Female Custodes were factored in. So it was just like, you know, printing, publishing stuff that were not related to each other, technical things that, you know, we can say, well, GW didn't care about their continuity or whatever. Sorry, there's a Pomeranian. Goldie decided to, after all, join the stream. So this is the Golden Custody. That's what we have here in person. So, don't mind him, he just has to get his affection. It doesn't matter if I try to work or not. So, basically, I don't remember exactly everything about that there, what I said, but I know that basically you can interpret it this in 2 ways. Either GW don't care and this was just printed out and it didn't feature Female Custodes, but they are still sticking to it. Or yeah, for them these things don't matter. Like if you think about publishing, like book publishing, companies and whatever, sometimes there could be some things that are published that are not featured, but after that they're gonna feature them. Those things are like standard basically in the industry sometimes. It's not something that is just unique to GW or negligence per se. It's just some technical things that will be addressed eventually. So for me, this is not like, oh no, GW are so incompetent. Yeah, they could be probably incompetent in some ways, but in other ways, it's just standard things that other companies do as well. So what I mean is that we should try to look at things objectively, like if we didn't care at all about Warhammer, if you're a fan of Warhammer, don't just listen to how things are represented, because sometimes this is a misrepresentation of reality and how things work behind the scenes, and we really have to critically think, because yeah, company could be not a very good company in terms of consumer, but they're also could just do standard things, not intentionally to make us angry, but just because that's like stuff that they usually do, you know, in general. So tonight you can probably get what I'm putting down.
Yeah, it's getting a little convoluted, but I understand it, I think.
Yeah, I do have to say that because in today's times, people just say things either to be sensational, and sometimes there are sensational things that are truly the way that they seem, but sometimes they're not. And we do have to be a bit more critical about those things and think for ourselves. Now, this what we're looking at here is a Marshall Bohemian post on X, and he made a video that was taken down for some reasons. So, Tsunami, can we read this post right now?
Sure, from Marshall himself. Tonight on Live from the Bridge, Games Workshop is all but confirmed to be releasing Female Custodes minis. We discuss how to abandon them while also enjoying Warhammer, clown on Mr. Beats some, and discuss bad takes on the Godzilla franchise tonight at 7.
Okay, so basically, this is on January 13, and now it's January 16. No Female Custodes minis yet. There is an event that should happen, I think, today. If this happens, of course, I'm gonna cover it as soon as possible. But for now, this is just a speculation, basically. Now, if there are Female Custodes minis, for sure, my guess, by what we already seen from Female Custodes, which is the literal CGI manifestation of a Female Custody in the Pariah Nexus series on Warhammer Plus, we see very well that the Female Custody looks exactly like a male Custody. She has a male armor, so there's not gonna be any differences between the males and the females, and only the head will be a bit more female than male. But again, it's ridiculous, guys. But we all know why. The process of creating such shoulders, okay, soldiers. The process of creating female custodies is, the logical thing is that if women can go through that process, they're just gonna turn into men, which is exactly what's happening, and kind of defeats the purpose of being female in the first place. Now, isn't it? So let's check the next post, which is this. It's about female Space Marine heads. So, Tsunami, take it away, if you please.
Again, from Marshall. The only way we're not getting female Custodes in miniatures is if the same thing that happened with those obviously female Space Marine heads happens again. They're obviously meant to be female, but GW just pretends otherwise. However, I'm fully convinced they released those heads recently and will announce canon female Space Marines next edition. They're waiting for people to use those heads, so it'll be too late to take it back when the slop lore drops.
Okay. So, he says, and please remember what he said, guys, because we are going to have that next edition sooner or later, and we're gonna see if he's correct. Now, my personal opinion so far, I don't think so. I really do not, because here we are here. If you can see, I'm gonna try to put this bigger on the screen, because the claim is that the head that is way over there, I don't know how to show this. Okay, I'm gonna
So row number 1?
Yes, row number 1, the first head.
It's the second head in, and row number 2, it's the first head.
Hold on. So I'm gonna put this on screen and make it bigger so we can see it, because this is important. Okay. So row number 1 is the first head, which is, row number 2 is the first head. That's like above his head now, above Tsunami's head. And what row did you say?
Row 1, the second image in.
The second head, okay. So according to Marshall, these are female. Guys, I don't think so. I think that's very far-fetched. To me, that those are not female. Those are still male. You just have to look at the history of how Games Workshop creates heads and how they look like. You can see many like this that maybe resemble something female. But here's the other thing. All the time, when content creators like myself are commenting about how certain women, like let's say the Sisters of Silence, the battle, sorry, Sisters of Battle, look like men, because we also talked about that last year. Look like men, and they're so manly, and that's basically a man. Well, that looked like more of a womanly sculpt compared to this one. So if it fits the narrative, that's what happened in here. If it fits the narrative that the female space heads, that the Sisters of Battle heads look more like male, they're gonna stay look like men. I also said, yeah, they can look manly. Okay, yeah, there's still women, even if the scopes are ugly, because remember, these scopes are minuscule. They are like 2 millimeters, so I don't know how many, but yeah, I mean, my Custodes that I have, the miniatures that I painted, are 5 centimeters tall, which is like this big, and an Astarte is like 4, which means that the head is like what, 2-3 millimeters. And you want to talk about facial features? That is just not objective, okay? So I'm gonna try to make this even bigger and bigger by the point that I'm also disappearing here, but it doesn't matter because I wanna see those things up close. Just give me a moment. Okay. So here it is, the head above Tsunami's head. This could be man and female, and like it's a lot more men than a female. Also, this guy here, this head. Tsunami, you meant this head, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, how is this a woman, guys? How is this a woman? If you've never seen these heads, if you're not even into Warhammer, how you would even know that this is a woman? Well, you can be conditioned to think that this is a woman, but this is not a woman, for goodness sakes. So to finish this off, based on everything that I just said, Tsunami, let me know your opinion, of course.
I'm just going off the Dr. Disaster video. That's what he pointed out and what was being mentioned. Additionally, Flash Kits, Tom and Don, they did a video where they did huge close-ups of this, and they had a breakdown of why they also believed that this could or could not be a thing. But yeah, no, for me personally, I mean, I think all these people make me look pretty, which is saying something.
What? But no, really, you can totally make yourself believe that these are female. But how are these female? Doesn't make any sense. You're just looking at looking at them objectively without knowing anything what anybody said about them. How can this be female? This is ridiculous to me. Like fabricated news, totally fabricated to me.
Waldy XD says 40k Empress can be recognized by the structure of her cheekbones. Which woman?
That's nonsense. I'm sorry. What structure of the cheekbones? They all look the same. All of them look the same. Like, look at that. They absolutely all look the same. They are based on the same types of sculpts, just features here and there changed a little bit. You can say that about any of these, like almost about any of these. Like, look at this angry face that's above like Tsunami's head. Look at this face. I mean, the same facial, almost the same facial structure, cheekbones, like distance between the cheekbone and the eye. Remember, guys, I'm also an artist. I have been drawing people. I know facial features. So I'm looking at this in all kinds of ways, professionally, not professionally, whatever. To me, this is absolutely absurd. So it is running with something to make news. And again, if female space marines are a thing, I'm gonna be the first to say, yeah, okay, they are now a thing. But to just make stuff up, this is making stuff up to me. And again, remember what happened, if you remember what happened with the Sisters of Battle. It was the same thing. They're looking so much like men. Then again, their heads look a lot more female than this. So which one is it? Like, okay, let's continue. Because this again is nonsense. And again, Marshall does have a history of twisting things, and we're gonna see that as well in a bit. So we have to go to his next post, but hold on. The next post about the female custodes now. Unfortunately, I lost it somewhere. And I can't get Discord, so because here I'm gonna lower Tsunami, so hold on, I'm gonna load that cheekbone structure. Sure. If I had more time, I would layer those on top of each other to see how much of a difference there is. Almost absolutely none. Okay. And if female female space marines are not announced by the next edition, then what are we going to say about Marshall's information or interpretation of things? Can't wait to see that. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Tsunami, read that one.
Marshall says Games Workshop released no less than 2 official books that said Custodes can only be men after the tithes: The Ultimate Guide and Era of Ruin. They released other official books, The Silent King and the Horus Heresy 3rd Edition Rulebook, that refused to acknowledge female Custodes existed. Everything official from the company itself said that female Custodes were no longer a thing. For a full year, they released Custodes content in multiple mediums that contradicted or ignored the 10th edition Codex retcon. It was only in the last 2 months that suddenly they seem to remember they hate their own setting and drop Tyrith in a Tacticus and some female custodian into Era of Ruin. I spent a year saying GW walked it back because for a year they had walked it back. You want to be mad at a company with so little internal coordination that they don't even know what they're releasing in their own products and lead customers along thinking they were actually doing right by them. But the conspiracy theorist in me also thinks they may have done it as to not further impact sales of major releases after how badly the 10th edition Custodes Codex and the tithes stung them. This will make the fallout after Friday worse for them, not better.
Yeah, let's see what's that fallout he's talking about, because that's today. Let's see what the heck is the fallout. Now, we have to pay attention to a few things. I still have my backwards code, by the way. Okay, so something that for a full year they released Custodes content in multiple mediums, then contradicted or ignored the 10th edition Codex retcon. Please give me examples, because I haven't seen that. But if you give me examples, I would say okay, fine. But I haven't seen that.
Tyrith is in the game Tacticus.
What in the game Tacticus?
Tyrith. It's a female character.
Yeah, I got that. I got that one at least. Okay. Okay, Tacticus and Female Custodes. If you where is that? For a year they walked it back, damn it. Spent a year. I walked it back, yes. I spent a year saying GW walked it back, and for a year they had walked it back. No, they haven't. And people actually called him out on that he said that, and they haven't. The fact that they are not mentioning something doesn't mean that they're walking it back. And we just have to stop making conclusions based on nothing like that. Because this is a pattern that GW do have. They're not repeating, they're not talking about something over and over again just for us to know that they're not walking it back. They're just releasing something, then leave it alone, and after a while, when they're ready, there is another thing about the same thing. Doesn't mean that they walked it back. How is that a way of critical thinking at all? You can make a conclusion that's absolutely wrong about anything by this logic. They walked it back. How? The mere fact that we had a whole animation that was in production for God knows how long, because this is a 3D super high quality animation from Pariah Nexus, a whole episode with female custody. They are not walking that shit back. They're not. They already invested a full animation to be created. They're not walking this back. We have to be realistic about this. So to me, this is a representation of reality. I just don't agree with that delivery of information. And that's it. I want to be based as freaking possible. And to me, the female Custodes heads and the female Space Marines heads, and this is totally representation of reality. And again, If female space marines are a thing and they become a thing, I'm gonna say, okay, now we can say they're a thing. But before that, I mean, on principle, to make conclusions is gonna be wrong by default. Wrong to jump to conclusions just because the evidence is so completely not decisive at all, and it can be open to your eye only, or to something that other people said. How many times I've seen people say something and that just other people follow it and don't think for themselves. I just have a huge problem with that, because then they are writing comments and they're saying like, oh, but no, this is true. Why is it true? Can you prove it with your own train of thought and intelligence? No. Well, then you're just copy and pasting what other people are saying. So I don't agree with the whole thing. It's for sensational stuff, and that's it. We'll see what it's actually going to be like, but they didn't walk it back and they're stuck to it. And the only walking it back, like I said at the beginning, that we saw, that was not walking it back again, was that encyclopedia that didn't mention female custodes, mention the custodes and how they are, their ways, description of them, everything that's usually the case, just not mentioning that females are part of that. And they also mentioned that they call them brotherhood. So this was all old stuff, original stuff that they put in that encyclopedia, but they are acting by themselves. They were commissioned by GW to create this encyclopedia, whoever they were, I forgot. But that's the point, that this was something
Can I ask
old.
a clarifying question?
What?
Can I ask a clarifying question? I'm trying to understand your point.
Okay.
So, in essence, you agree that this female thing is likely to happen because it has not changed from the beginning. You're disagreeing with this particular person's delivery and essentially clickbaiting how he's gone ahead and presented this information. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely correct, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was getting a little lost there. I was like, does she agree with him? Not agree? I was a little lost there for a minute.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. I know I'm explaining a lot of things, but this is exactly because people just have this sheep mindset and they just go ahead and just believe the things. So that is it. We had, I mean, those are most of Marshall posts, right? I think all of them. Or I missed something.
Just a screenshot if you wanted to bring that up about Horus Heresy and them trying to include a female custodian in that.
Yeah, okay. So that next thing that we're going to mention real quick is that, just read it because I don't have it on screen. Just read it.
Sure, 1 second. Okay, it says. Well, all right, so again from Marshall, he says, so apparently there will be a new named character in the Horus Heresy Custodes list that will be female. And then he just makes a joke. Vote below on how poorly you think Games Workshop will handle it. Option 1, a new character no one heard of that was apparently super important and always there, but we have no idea who they are. Or option 2, an existing character we knew about that has suddenly turned female despite all lore pointing to them being male before this. That's it.
All right. Well, that again is something that we have to wait and see if that's true. Because again, we'll see. The only thing that I can say it, well, we'll see. Okay, because a lot of the time these things are just not true. But again, we'll see. This is at least more likely because I'm reading The Ashes of the Imperium novel right now. That is basically the aftermath of the Horus Heresy, and we do have a female custody there. Yeah, I already covered this actually, so it's no wonder if they just put another one. But what he said, and it's like, one, this is gonna happen, this second, this, like, who cares? It doesn't matter anymore what is going to be. Anybody can guess that based on what we actually know that happened and how GW are going about this, because they are trying so hard to integrate them into the lore that it doesn't matter what it is anymore, It's just dumb. It's kind of like when they ruin anything, you just become jaded and you're like, well, who cares by this point about that? Okay. So we are done with this. Still, let me know what you think in the comments, guys, about misrepresentation of information delivery. Again, genuine, disingenuine. That's just how I feel that Marshall has been a bit disingenuous, and you know, channels like Dr. Disaster is featuring him. Of course, if he is the bringer of news, if he has sources, then that's gonna happen. So for me, he's just looking for the cloud a lot more than real information here, and he's putting guesses then, and then he's gonna say that he claimed something for a while where he didn't. And correction, Era of Ruin, last books each of their series has no Fem Studies. Ashes of the Imperium, first book does. Yeah, and again, you see this? That's what I mean. If you go and run with what he says, and if you don't check, this is what happens. Because I also haven't heard of Era of Ruin having female custodies. Ashes of the Imperium, like I just mentioned, has. And me and Tsunami already covered that last week, and I have to cut it into a video still. So that's a bit fuck up. If he doesn't check and just claims, like boldly says things, then we're gonna have things. But at least if he doesn't clean after himself, we're gonna see that he's not really, very accurate after all. Interesting and cool idea. Oh my god. Okay, tonight. Last thing. I do have a source as well. Oh yes, I do have a source that says that something's gonna happen. Take that with 300 grains of salt. I mean, a lot. Something's gonna happen, and GW is gonna have themselves in a corporate way somehow. Something's gonna happen that's like major, but it's not. Of course, my source also has a source. So if that source is wrong, everything's wrong. So that's why I'm not running with it. I'm just saying that there's a rumor like that going on, and if anything is true, it's probably gonna be revealed rather soon. So if that happens, then I can run with it if it's actually true. But for now, something's gonna happen with GW. Who knows? Who knows what that is, guys? But just saying. But yeah. Okay, Tsunami. Finishing words maybe from you.
No, it's like you said. People are sensationalizing for obvious reasons. They want the engagement. I understand now that you're just upset with the delivery, and we should wait to see what happens, and we will know that in a few hours. So I guess we're going to see what happens with this. I do not have hopes for the future, though.
Okay, I mean, I can't say that that's not fair. Yeah, that is fair. And lastly, guys, when I put something into the title of the videos, it's gonna be what it is. Gonna be true. And it's gonna be at least mentioning something that could be that's normal, but it's not normal when you deliver the information itself to twist it and turn it and to say boldly stuff. You just have to go back and check, and I know that many people are not gonna go back and check, and that's how these things get by. But I'm catching them because I'm there. So here you go. Okay, let's address the super chats before we move on to the next topic.
Clinton for ZAR99.99 for the Empress.
Thank you so much, dear Clinton.
And we've got Roadkill for $9.99. Hail.
Hail Roadkill, thank you so. I'm betting the gold, so I'm gonna do bicep salute instead of the whole thing. And another bicep salute for dear Clayton. And I know it doesn't look like that. Okay, I can do this. The other bicep. But yeah, I don't want to bother the Goldie. He's melted love bunny here. Okay, so next news, Tsunami. Just let me change it. Next news was about the AI. I don't know what was it.
Yep.
The AI.
Okay. Banned AI and Warhammer. Yep.
Let me start this off. So, it seems that Games Workshop has banned AI in Warhammer 40k design process to respect. Design process. Oh yes. So yeah, James Workshop. Oh great, that's a new company. Games Workshop has banned AI in Warhammer 40k's design process to respect its talented creators. Well, that sounds amazing. Tsunami, take it away.
Over the past couple of years, there's been a fairly uncomfortable rise in the use of generative AI. So much so that beloved developers such as Larian Studios and Sandfall Games, the makers of Baldur's Gate 3 and Clair Obscur, respectively, have been using it during development. It's being touted as a tool that will eventually seep into every corner of game development. But there is one company that doesn't plan on using generative AI anytime soon. Games Workshop is the owner of Warhammer 40k and has had run-ins with generative AI accusations in the past, specifically when trying to shut down bootleg miniatures. As for whether Games Workshop itself will start using the system itself, whether it be to design factions, miniatures, or anything in between, it seems as though fans don't have much to worry about. Warhammer 40k bosses are rejecting AI to quote unquote respect our human creators. In the company's latest financial report, thanks Wargamer, Games Workshop CEO Kevin Roundtree talked to investors about the role that AI has played in the success of Warhammer 40k as a whole, and I'm pleased to report that he doesn't really have any kind words for it. In brief, Roundtree says that Games Workshop is currently taking a quote unquote very cautious internal policy when it comes to generative AI, and that it will quote unquote not allow AI generated content or AI to be used in our design processes. In addition to that, Roundtree said generative AI isn't allowed in any competitions that it holds either. He does admit that there are some within the company that consider themselves experts on the use of AI, but that none are that excited about it yet. So, while generative AI does seem to be banned in the design process, Games Workshop isn't going to stop its staff from investigating it in their own time. If that does concern you, Roundtree has some more words of encouragement. He goes on to say that Games Workshop has a strong commitment to respect our human creators, who he describes as talented and passionate people. So it sounds like they don't plan on replacing anyone with the dreaded AI machine anytime soon. At the very least, this is one of the hardest stances against AI that we've heard from a CEO in quite some time. But it may be due to how fiercely Games Workshop wants to protect Warhammer. End article.
Okay, so that's great and all, but again, just like is Linear Studios, which the developers of Baldur's Gate and Divinity, just like they explained initially before they decided to backpedal on AI, they were to just use it to present some ideas for it, and just like they would do the same if they look at somebody else's art, somebody else art that's human from books or Google, and then use it as an inspiration to create something entirely original. That was the idea of their usage of AI, but now they said, no, we're not gonna do that, because nobody can actually accept even that. In terms of usage of AI, they got a huge backlash, and in order for them to be clear, they just said, well, then we're just not gonna use AI altogether at all. So people do not binge and moan, because also people don't understand what's the difference between using AI, just as you would use Google for reference to check something, and then not actually include it as anything as a finished product. Like one of the, actually I had a comment, and a person said that AI can be used, or it's better to AI to be used in pre-production, but not in post-production. So in pre-production, that's a good way of putting it, you would use AI just to check images, how they look like, to take inspiration, but create your own. And if it's post-production, you're gonna use it and actually include it into the production, basically. And now GW, in comparison, are just saying directly no AI at all, respect human creators. That sounds great, but again, there is this thing, again, nuance here, guys, nuance, where an artist, a talented artist, could have used AI not to create a finished product, not to include elements of AI in their finished products, but to use it just for storyboard or an idea, or again, just like the artist, we have to go on Google and look at other people's work to get inspired. But what AI does is to combine billions, millions of artworks into one original creation, not copying directly something, but taking endless amounts of elements and combine it in something new that's gonna depend on your prompt. So all of that's not taken into consideration. So basically, GW could have said, well, talented artists can use AI to create original human-made things, but we're not gonna go with that and just gonna say it. We're gonna respect artists, but that really means we're gonna deny the artists this faster method of checking stuff and making ideas realized at the moment, so you can then realize them a lot more manually. So that is what this actually is. This is not we are protecting anything, because the end result, or the danger that people think that there is this danger where people are going to be, artists are going to be completely replaced by AI. That's not what's actually happening. It's just the backlash that the audience of all of these universes, because they don't understand exactly that. They think that AI is going to replace humans. They can't think of an AI as a tool that can be used by those same humans that are already employed there to just make work more efficient or easier. That's not included here at all. The presumption that this exists is not included here at all. And that, again, to me is another disingenuous representation of reality. But we can't do anything about it, because when the mass populace don't know those nuances or don't understand them, the companies have to make a stand that will make sense to most people. And this is what GW are doing. So I totally get it. Because I know the comments. I know how people think. So I get it. What do you think tonight?
I think the first thing that I'd say is maybe they should use AI to double check their work and check on lore that they've missed and keeps consistently screwing up. Might help the company out. Number one. Number two, this sounds like a lot of posturing, so that these people can go ahead and keep the freak leftists that are kind of rampant in their community and definitely at their company quiet, so they could say the nice things and say, "Oh, we're going to keep all the human artists around," and all in the while, in the background, they're going to be scheming and whatnot. But this just sounds like a way for them to go ahead and keep a bunch of woke freaks off their back and not screaming at them about AI. And then lastly, they mentioned that they're going to go ahead and hire more artists, and they want to stay away from streamlining the whole process. And that just sounds like the price is going to go to the consumer for making that happen. They want to get more artists. It's going to cost more to create the models and everything else if demand rises, which I think is a calculated move on their part.
Yeah, it's never gonna be about being upfront and genuine. It's just gonna be about, you know,
Yeah.
pretending that they're on the right side of history and whatever, but we can see through it. So that's why you gotta be informed on all those things, how they stand, how they actually are. So, when a company says something like that, they're not trying to be good, they're trying to just save their own ass. Well, that's it, really, as simple as that. Okay, I'm gonna take like quick pause for like 2 minutes to let me take it away with the
Sure.
comments. And yeah, sorry guys, I just have to do that. So I'll be back in 2 minutes, very quickly. Okay.
All right. Let's see over here on the Game Rampers channel. I'll scroll back a bit, guys, so I can catch up and say hello to some people that I missed. Hail Jeremiah. Hail Argel Toth. Argeltoth Custodian Killer 6552. Yeah, I don't know which doctor you were talking about, but whatever. Hello. Empress has never seen an American lesbian that weighs more than us. Tsunami. That's true. Joey in the house. What's up? Those female trans toadies. Yes, indeed. Lost in the warp. TRT Stody says Kano. Facts. I typed in the wrong channel. I'll say it again. Evening. Hey, what's up, Kyle B? Stealing Gato in the house. What's up? Asking people to use critical thinking in 2025, 26, like asking a lion to be a vegan. Won't work. True. uh, not a bunch of people will be using critical thinking, mainly critical race theory. Oh, Lord, you guys are getting after it in the chat. Can't wait for Raw to be turned into female. Isaac Hitchcock, too much drama. I'd rather join the town and get a salmon steak. Oh, awesome. Isaac is Blue Woman Enjoyer, I see. Oh, here we go. Gary, Kano says, Gary Workshop told me they will reveal new minis. Don't worry, I don't lie. Don't worry, Tsunami will start playing Battletech together. Sounds pretty good. Mechanicus face. Oh, with the angry face. Ra's last words before dying. It's ma'am. I don't trust GW at all, says Kano, saying they want to protect artists. It's such BS. They went and strike so many fan-made projects without any reason. Yeah, they want to protect their artists, and they're going to end up passing those prices on to consumers. Sounds like. Yeah, that's obviously what she's doing. Goldie is going crazy in the background. I don't know anything about Warhammer. All good, Tinkle Fairy. I know like 2%. I'm figuring things out as I go along. But it's a pretty cool world if you want to get into it. I just hate. I'm just playing Hightail. Seems okay so far. Oh, cool. Says Kyle. Joey says I've gathered that GW is very random with enforcing stuff. Some things can linger, like Warhammer Online. Re-Reckoning remains untouched, while on other things they immediately drop the hammer on. And over here on the 40k channel, we've got Bonghole. Yep. James Knighton. To be frank, it would be just heads for the minis. But still, what I've said about this whole thing, it's bad in general and should have always been Sisters of Silence. Also, hi. Hello. Waldy says, make Sisters of Battle great again. For real. Waldy says, thanks, but at 9:48 I need some coffee. It is 4:24 in the morning for me. So I'm all where I need to be. Tell you why GW needs Femme Custodes, because trans representation. Truth says it's going to be hard to get into a series that contradicts its own lore. It's so annoying. How to be a strong woman? Be a man. Walt says 40k Empress can be recognized by the structure of her cheekbones. Which woman? All right. One row, second head, no, the same. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, over on the 40k channel, we just have a few more to read. Would you give me 1 second? I'll be back in 1 minute.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, guys. What did I miss? A lot, I guess. On the comments side. Okay. So, everybody need to take a break. Let's see. Hey, Joey's here. Okay, Cowbee. Oh, that's great. Hey, Cow, did you do something with my 40k song? With Tinko Ferry, there's a lot of interesting stuff about Warhammer, so yeah. Better be mailing me back my font. Okay, that's great. Yeah, Kano doesn't trust the GW, okay. Yeah, it's BS. Actually, yeah. Absolutely BS. Okay. Well, waiting for... Oh! Disgusting hell! Okay, no, it's true, I'm here. Badonkas. Badonkadonks, yes. And it's me. Okay. So, I'm gonna just prep for the next news and we're gonna move ahead. There's a lot of windows open. But the news are great. I mean, the news are interesting.
So,
yeah.
We just had a couple of messages over on the 40k channel. Sorry, guys, I was still listening in. How to be a strong woman? Be a man, says Truth.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah.
Let's see. So there's how the feminist ideal of a woman ends up being a man. True. Truth. Waldy says these differences are visible, and as for the cheekbones,
we already read that, but again, no.
Okay, got it. All right. Okay. Even female athletes look more manly, or you want me to just stop?
Yeah, we gotta stop.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so next news. Games Workshop announces new Warhammer World in America, opening late 2027 near Washington, D.C. That's actually pretty unexpected. I didn't know this, so let me take it away.
American Warhammer 40k fans won't have to travel all the way to England to visit Warhammer World because a new one is being built in the United States of America. According to the official website, Warhammer World is the focal point for Games Workshop's various tabletop games and a social hub for the hobby. The center has an event hall designed to look like a castle where Warhammer 40k fans can play the game, with events being staged to get the gamers competing against each other. There's also an exhibition center with Warhammer inspired artwork and displays, a bar and restaurant called Bugman's Bar, and of course, a store where you can buy Warhammer 40k merchandise, pieces, and accessories, including some exclusives. The only Warhammer World is located in Nottingham, UK, but soon there will be another. In an announcement posted on the Warhammer community website, Warhammer 40k, a manufacturer Games Workshop, revealed that a new Warhammer World is being built stateside and will be located just outside of Washington, D.C. The new Warhammer World is described as a flagship venue that will celebrate Warhammer 40k's gaming, painting, modeling, storytelling, events, and community. But what is perhaps the most interesting part of the announcement is that the new Warhammer World will not replicate the existing location in Nottingham brick for brick, but build something new, which is a good way to get people to visit both. There aren't any details about the design or features of the new Warhammer World yet, but the idea is to make it something equally uncompromising on quality and experience, something worthy of Warhammer's rich setting and, of course, the title Warhammer's World. There is no set opening day for the American Warhammer World, but Games Workshop hopes to open it to the public late in 2027, though it does stipulate that a fair wind and the might of the Emperor and his inexhaustible armies will be necessary to meet that expectation. The company also promises to update Warhammer 40k fans on the progress of the new Warhammer World on the Warhammer community website and through the Games Workshop mailing list. Warhammer 40k is an ever-expanding brand, with the tabletop game evolving into a video game, Warhammer 40k Space Marine, in 2011. The sequel, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, was released in 2024 and was a massive hit, selling 7 million copies in less than a year. A third game is being developed by Games Workshop, Focus Entertainment, and Saber Interactive. Meanwhile, famous mega fan Henry Cavill is developing a Warhammer 40k shared universe for Amazon, encompassing movies, TV shows, and an animation. Do you want me to read his Twitter post? Okay. Cavill has been a real ambassador for Warhammer 40k, so much so that it would be surprising if Games Workshop doesn't get him booked as part of the grand opening for the new Warhammer World. People may even stake out the place in the hopes of seeing him. And since the Warhammer 40k universe is happening at Amazon, part of the American Warhammer World will probably be devoted to that, with various memorabilia, behind-the-scenes videos, and maybe some new miniatures based on the shows and movies. Whatever the case, Warhammer 40k fans are undoubtedly excited to see a new Warhammer World opening in America, Henry Cavill chief among them. And that's it, end article.
Okay, guys. So this is pretty cool, because like the article says, the only world is in the UK, and Henry loves that, so it's gotta be very amazing. But you know, the future of Warhammer does look very well, so for the mass audience, that will not be that much evident until it's too late. So they're probably going to have a ton of success. What do you think, Tsunami?
I think it's awesome. There's always been this barrier, having to travel all the way to the UK to try and really see the central hub of this place. It's even especially cool for me. My parents live just outside of Washington, D.C., so this is going to be very close to them. So I imagine I'll be making a pilgrimage there myself at some point, whenever.
Awesomeness. Well, if you see anything, one of these days, just send pictures.
Sure.
Yeah, so those are, kind of good news. We can just hope that it's gonna be great, and who knows, maybe it's not that bad if Henry is bringing stuff to life, but we're gonna talk about that in the next topic. So, guys, Warhammer World, are you excited? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, next topic. Games Workshop addresses long wait for Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40,000 cinematic universe, confirms standalone Warhammer Age of Sigmar animation for Prime Video. So, Tsunami, take it away.
Games Workshop has addressed the long wait for Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k cinematic universe, insisting that Amazon is in control of the delivery of the adaptation. Former Superman actor and Warhammer 40k lover Henry Cavill is set to star in and executive produce the live action Warhammer 40k adaptation for Prime Video. Cavill's Warhammer 40k cinematic universe is shrouded in mystery, and Games Workshop itself has cautioned fans not to expect to see anything of it for some time. But it is now over 3 years since Game Workshop's deal with Amazon was announced, and fans have yet to see anything of it or hear anything tangible about it. In its latest financial results, the long and short of it is that Games Workshop is doing tremendously well and making loads of money. CEO Kevin Roundtree addressed the elephant in the room. Just what is going on with the Amazon stuff? We continue to work on some exciting projects. We continue to work on some exciting projects that will bring Warhammer to screens like never before, Roundtree said, keeping his cards close to his chest. Our live action endeavor is still in development with our partners, Amazon, MGM Studios, Henry Cavill, and Vertigo. It is the nature of these things to take several years, and while we wish we could tie down a release the way we can with our core business, the reality is that, as with any licensing deal, delivery is not in our control. We leave it to our partners to manage their own businesses. That doesn't help fans much, to be honest, but at least we know the project is still in the works and hasn't been lost to the warp. Fans have spent the last few years in a state of enduring excitement about the prospect of finally seeing Warhammer 40k brought to life in live action from across films and TV shows. And with Cavill steering the ship, they're confident it will be done right. Hopefully, we'll get some details, including who Cavill himself will play soon. However, condensing the vast scopes of Warhammer 40k into films and TV shows, while sticking to a reasonable budget, may prove a challenge. Warhammer 40k is a highly detailed setting with multiple factions, thousands of years of war played out on a gigantic scale, and at the heart of it all, enormous space marines who often fight against even bigger monsters. We're taking space battles that can last hundreds of years, gargantuan land battles that can consume entire planets, and the Warp, a place so unknowable that can be pretty much anything you can imagine. In that context, what story will Cavill tell? Does it need to be more grounded than a big galactic epic? We're left with scraps to mull over, such as recent comments from Dan Abnett about NDAs and upcoming books. In June last year, Cavill himself touched on the complexity and trickiness of adapting the Warhammer 40k IP. But he insisted he's loving the challenge, which for fans will be great to hear. Bringing Warhammer to life is a dream come true, Cavill said. But it's different from what I've done before, in the sense that I haven't had my hand on the tiller of things before. It's wonderful doing that. It is a tricky IP and a very complex IP, and that's what I love about it. Challenges that come with putting this on the page in a way that is doing justice to that complexity. That trickiness and that nuance is a challenge I'm enjoying enormously.
All right. So I was muted this whole time and didn't hear how the puppies were barking everywhere. You only Tsunami could hear. But yeah, they're losing their patience with me, which is normal. We are getting close to that end that we should have in like 25 minutes. So, okay, this is very promising. It all sounds good. I'm happy that they mentioned it, so we know that they're keeping it alive and they're working on it. And of course, these things take time, especially knowing how the universe is. Back last year, everybody were trying to run with the news that nothing is happening, it's gonna be canceled, but by December, it wasn't. Because as I said back then, these things are so, the whole universe is so complicated, and Henry knows that, and he had to decide what was to be brought to life and what not. A lot of discussions had to be had, and Arch was running with the false narrative, Endymion was running with a false narrative, John De La Rose was running with a false narrative that everything is cancelled, and then all of a sudden comes Mr. H Reviews, who said, well, I have actual sources in Warhammer and they're totally going with it. This is gonna be real. They're working on it. Henry's there. Everything is going ahead. Like, what? This is not okay. So, he was right, I was right, and all those things. So, back to today, yeah. A lot of things. A lot of years. 3 years is a lot. But they are working hard on whatever should be brought to life. So many people speculate on what could that be, and I'm sure that Henry's gonna do a great job, and it's not gonna be actually woke, because Henry wouldn't stand for that, so I believe in him, he will not sign to this if it wasn't as close to Warhammer 40k as possible. And Amazon already did a great job with Secret Level. So I have all kinds of belief in this. It's gonna be great. What do you think, Tsunami?
Yeah, I agree. He's a fantastic spokesman for the company. Obviously, he gets praise from pretty much everyone. He's a universally liked character, provided they give him the room to breathe and create the world the way that he knows how it's going to be. I have a lot of faith in him as a dude for really being able to go ahead and introduce this world the correct way. Um, the fact that they're opening up other things, like they got the Age of Sigmar animation they were talking about. I don't know who they're going to give that to, and that could kind of, I don't know. There's danger there, letting other people put their sticky palms on this. But we'll see what happens. Amazon is really hit or miss. They've created some fantastic shows, and they've absolutely butchered some IPs like Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings and things like that. So it's up for grabs. We just have to see what happens with this. But I'm very excited to see which direction they're going to go with things.
Oh yeah, but there are also some shows that were good, like Reacher. I'm not sure if they woke fight in the second season.
Mm,
Did you watch Reacher?
kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, there was also other things. I just forget what they were because I watch so many stuff sometimes. But the point is, everything is all about the creators and who stands behind the camera and the writing team. So it's not only what they want to push. The creators of Lord of the Nut Rings, they were all woke and all had this idea, and Amazon just let them do whatever they wanted. So it's also all about the team. It's not just about Amazon. So yeah. And we all know what happened with The Witcher and how Henry stood firmly against that. So this gives us hope. For sure. A lot. Okay, guys, so let me know what you think in the comments about that. Now, speaking of Henry, we're gonna transition to this news. So we're done with the Warhammer 40k news. We're going to have some related, not related news right now, and Henry Cavill, that's the related part. So Henry Cavill Superman is literally Hope personified, says Zack Snyder, a new image. So Zack Snyder has been releasing images of BVS, Superman, like Man of Steel, other things actually, but mostly BVS and Man of Steel. And this creates this hype where we all think that maybe, just maybe, the Snyder universe could be restored and Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck could be returning as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. There has been some new rumors for the past 2 days that WB have been in talks with Zack Snyder as a backup plan if James Gunn's universe keeps failing, that they're gonna call him. Who knows? Because right now, WB and Paramount will go into a lawsuit because Paramount wants to sue them. And it's so ridiculous. We'll see what's gonna happen if actually WB ends up in the hands of Netflix after all, because there's gonna be a vicious fight, and there is a vicious fight going on. And we're going to see the end result of that maybe in the summer. So for now, In the meantime, Zack is still trying to give us hope. So let's see what the article says. Tsunami.
Zack Snyder has shared yet another new image of Henry Cavill as Superman, this time reflecting on the earliest days of Man of Steel and what Cavill brought to the role from day one. Snyder posted the brightly lit photo of Cavill in the Superman suit on Instagram with, quote unquote, "Love these early images of Henry in the suit. He's literally hope personified. Shot on my old Nikon D3." He also paired the post with "Sent Here for a Reason" by Hans Zimmer, the iconic track from Man of Steel that underscores Clark's origin and journey towards becoming Earth's protector. An early glimpse at Snyder's Superman vision. The image offers a clean, high contrast look at Cavill in the suit, long before any of the darker, battle worn moments seen in BVS or Zack Snyder's Justice League. The lighting, expression, and tone all match Snyder's original mission to depict Superman not just as a hero, but as a symbol of hope in a grounded modern world. The use of Zimmer's emotional score further reinforces the moment as one tied to legacy and inspiration. Theme Snyder leaned into heavily with Cavill's Superman arc. More Snyder nostalgia continues. This is the latest in a long string of DCEU throwbacks Snyder has been posting in recent weeks, including Cavill as Superman in the Reeves suit test, Nightmare Batman, Ray Fisher's Cyborg, Michael Shannon's Zod, and even Clark Kent waiting tables. Each post continues to fuel speculation that Snyder's DC area may not be as finished as some once believed, especially with persistent reports surrounding the possible Warner Brothers discovery and the idea that new ownership could put the Snyderverse back in play. End article.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, this is super cool. I love to see new images, and some of those images were not new, but a lot of them also were. So, what do you think, Tsunami?
It's the same thing I've been saying. He's obviously teasing, but now I'm starting to think. I kind of have been thinking it, but definitely now I'm really feeling. I think he's trying to drum up the emotion to force the company to see all the fan reaction to it, which could sway decisions. And I think he's really making a very strategic play right now, not only to you know affect the future in terms of the company themselves, but to affect the fan base to force that future or the future that he wants to see happen. So this seems like a lot of backroom knife fighting or like back alley knife fighting, and they're being really like kind of shitty with each other. It's kind of cool, honestly. But yeah, no, fingers crossed. I love the photo. Obviously, I love all these photo drops and everything else. I'm just hoping this actually goes somewhere, as we've said for the past couple of weeks.
Awesome. Yeah. And no matter what happens with Paramount and WB and Netflix, he's still doing it. So maybe he knows that he has a chance, in whatever hands WB lands. Yeah, that's how it seems. But for sure, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. This is good for us anyway. It's feeding us some good images, and there are some things that have so much substance that people are still rediscovering them in time, and they have a lot of strength behind them. Like, Xenowar Princess, other fandoms like that people are there for years and years, and they literally grow old with these because it just means so much to them. And that's how the Snyderverse is to many people, because we actually see the meaning behind everything that Zack wanted to do. Little things, small things, big things. We just see it, feel it with our soul. It speaks to us. And that's not what happens with the latest Superman and the latest movies as a whole, superhero movies that are more like fast food than actual tangible thing that has quality to it. So yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And now we're going to go to last news. And this is first picture of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft in the new Amazon, where we're talking about Amazon, Tomb Raider series. And I made a post yesterday on X and on the community channel on my gaming channel, the community page on my gaming channel, and I called her Flat Rider is here. Flat Rider. Because she's so flat. Yes, so Sophie Turner is I like her as an actress, don't get me wrong. She has amazing performances. She was even very good as Jean Grey. But again, just as Jean Grey, the fact that she had red hair, or kind of like red hair, doesn't mean that she fits the role physically. You do have to fit the role physically, and she is not that type that Lara Croft is. Angelina Jolie was a lot more, but she isn't. Neither is Alicia Vikander. Basically, Alicia Vikander and Sophie Turner are very similar in terms of the type. It's the same type. It's very athletic woman, and they both trained, and they have physiques that are very, well, the athletic type, no hips, no smaller waist to emphasize the back, no bigger boobs like Lara Croft is. Lara Croft is very classic female figure with the hourglass shape, but also athletic. And they're just very athletic. Sophie Turner and Alicia Vikander, very athletic, very dry muscle. And this is just not the look of Lara. So they're both good actresses. And I do like actually the movie with Alicia Vikander. It was based on the first rebooted game. and she gave her all. She really did. It's just that was not Lara. Lara should be sexy, still in shape, fit, but sexy with that hips and the butt and the breasts, and yes, good head to shoulder ratio, the good perfect ratio of 90, 90, 60, 90. That's 90 shoulders, 60 waistline, and 90 hips. That's how Lara should be. So Sophie Turner could do a great job again, but I am really sick of these types of miscastings because they don't respect the character and how they're supposed to look like. All the games so far at least kept the same type in the face, if not the body exactly, because rebooted games they went a bit more on the athletic side rather than on the sexy, shapely side. Now the game that's gonna come out this year, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, definitely leans on to the sexier side and how Lara should look like, which is great. So to see that in the same time, because this is gonna be on probably in the same time as this game, it's gonna be very high contrast and big difference between the two. So they nailed down how she looks like in terms of the outfit, but that is it. This is not Lara Croft at all. In any case, you do have to read the article. I just had to say those things for context. So, Tsunami, take it away.
Amazon MGM Studios has officially released a first look image of Sophie Turner as Lara Croft to mark the start of production on the new Tomb Raider live action series. Get your artifacts out, she's on her way. That's how Amazon announced the start of filming on Thursday, January 15th, unveiling Sophie Turner in full Lara Croft gear, including dual thigh holsters, fingerless gloves, tactical harness, and signature red tinted glasses. Production officially underway. The live action Tomb Raider series is now filming under the creative leadership of Phoebe Waller Bridge, who serves as a creator, writer, executive producer, and co showrunner alongside Chad Hodge. Jonathan Van Tolikin is directing and executive producing. Full cast revealed. Joining Turner in the series are Sigourney Weaver as Evelyn Wallace and Jason Isaacs as Atlas de Mornay, both major new characters. The supporting cast also includes Martin Bob Semple, Zip, Jack Bannon, Gary, John Heffernan, David, Bill Patterson, Winston, Patterson, Joseph, Sasha Luss, Juliet Mohamed, Celia Imrie, Francine, and August Wittgenstein. Legacy of Laura. The new Prime Video series is based on the long-running Tomb Raider video game franchise, which has followed Lara Croft across multiple reboots and generations. This marks the character's return to live action since 2018 film reboot starring Alicia Vikander. Netflix recently concluded its own animated take, Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft, with Haley Atwell voicing the character. The live action series, produced by Amazon MGM Studios, Crystal Dynamics, Story Kitchen, Legendary Television, and Well Street Films. End article.
Yay! What do you think, Tsunami?
So the way she looked, I think Sophie Turner's attractive. She's nice looking. I think that they did okay with the model itself. They probably could have padded her bra, padded her shorts even.
How much? I mean, padding her bra. You still have to have something on the upper side to be padded up forward. So yeah.
I believe they did that with Angelina Jolie also, which would have helped in some ways for the way that she looks. I agree with you that I think her physique is not designed. They should have found someone more in like a gymnast, not this like I go running every day and that's pretty much all I do. I mean, this is supposed to be someone that could do cartwheels and pull ups and muscle ups and all kinds of other things. But overall, this is my least complaint. I wish she had bigger boobs. Sorry, not sorry. That's just the way it is. My real concern is not that at all. It's Phoebe Waller Bridge. Yeah. That's the real fucking danger here.
Yeah, of course.
Absolute monster. And I read another article. I was doing research leading up to this. That monster has already said that she is creating a Tomb Raider for a modern audience.
Quote. Oh, F it.
So, yeah, absolutely. That's the real danger here. And considering what she's already done in the past, her contributions to things that whatever that so-called Indiana Jones movie or this is like, yeah, I don't have much hope for this at all. So when I saw Sophie Turner, I'm like, yeah, whatever, who cares about that? Let's see who's behind this whole thing. This is going to be like nonstop feminist propaganda and so-called comedy, I guess. Some people think this person's funny, this Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I think she's a train wreck, and unfortunately, I think that's going to show through in the series as well.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I totally agree about Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I can't even say that. But I had to talk about the design because this is the news. The show is a different story. I want to put a lot on the screen just real quick so you can make a comparison with the female structure. Of course, that Sophie Turner is attractive. She's just not that type, like I've said.
Agreed.
Okay, so we have
Yeah, if
this.
you're asking me about looks alone, I absolutely would have cast someone else. It's not what I'm talking about. Like the real danger is I think that they're gonna like really tarnish Laura in this show.
I know, but those are two different topics. Yeah, on one hand, we have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is a bridge to horror. Basically, the horror of not be normal, I mean, and not represent female and male characters properly. The other thing, and the other topic is the picture itself, which again, totally not suitable for Lara Croft. And when you combine the two, we have, you know what we have. I think that Phoebe Waller-Bridge picked Sophie Turner exactly because she's not the typical womanly shaped woman that all men like and that all women despise if they don't look like that. So he just fits the mold in terms of just super athletic, but that's it. So there is, I mean, I do want to get into detail about this because people don't know these things. So, you know, there's body types in humans, male and female. The body type for a man that is considered perfect is where you have broad shoulders, smaller waist. That's your whole bone structure. It's not just how you eat and train. You have a bone structure that you're stuck with through the rest of your life. So for males is the triangle, simply put. For females is the pear or the hourglass shape, as we say. So the shoulders have to be the same, equal to the waist, to the hips, and the waist should be smaller, a lot smaller. But what we see in the athletic type of women that Sophie Turner is, she's more like, I mean, her shoulders used to be a bit wider than her hips, and her waistline is almost the same as the rest of her body. So that is just not this structure. This is what is called just the athletic structure, like somebody that will run and all of that. Like when women that run, when they run, I mean, most of them have this athletic structure. They're usually better for running as well because they're very straight and flat in all places. They're just optimized for running. Women that are usually the best at the running just look like this naturally, so they're not gonna be born with more of the, you know, of the this, of the, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm very good at running in general, but if a woman with that structure comes along, because I'm with the hourglass shape, she's gonna beat my ass, neck for sure. So yeah, but for some reason, this is considered, you know, less triggering to the woke people, less triggering, you know. They just stuck with very lean, and we have to be happy with that. It's kind of like that, but I mean, I can be happy with that because I know how Lara actually looks like. And as an artist, somebody that draws people, I know everything about structure of men and women. So these things to me just stick out as a sore thumb. And I'm like, what is this? And why are we're having this. This is another picture of one of the games that we recently played on the gaming channel, Lara Croft and Temple of Osiris. That's how he should be. She has some muscle definition, but she has enough boobs. She has the, this, the triangle shape of the back, smaller waist, and then it gets wider from there because, hips. That's how it should be. So we'll see how the show is. If it's crazy woke, which probably is gonna be, yeah, then well, it's done anyway, so who cares? But I still wanted to have a better representation of Lara. Then again, if the show sucks and we had a very good looking Lara, that's gonna make it even worse, you know? So, it is what it is. So, Tsunami, final words.
That's it.
That's it.
No, yeah, like, yeah, no, I already said my piece. Like, yeah, I wish they would have picked someone different. I think she's attractive, fine, great. I don't think she should have played this part. However, that's the smallest concern that I have. Similar to what you said, I think the real train wreck is going to be in the writing, probably the additional characters. There's going to be all kinds of woman-splaining and other Mary Sue type behavior, and they're going to end up. You know what? I'll say it. They're going to end up making guys not like Laura Croft. Like guys already like Laura Croft. She's very assertive. She could be aggressive when she needs to be. She could be seductive. Like, what a great character. And they're
Yeah.
going to make her into some fucking Mary Sue that everyone's going to be like, get this dumb bitch off the screen. I can't fucking stand this. Pardon my French.
Yes, I agree. I mean, Lara is a real strong woman, but naturally she is the way that she is because that is her character. I mean, that's how she is naturally. So you don't need to do anything. She's already like a great character, and that's the thing with feminism and wokeness that they ruin female characters. They make them not weak. I mean, not strong. They make them weak, complaining, putting men down, which does not make them look any better. It makes them more look a lot worse. And it's just like me, but never. Well, how about treating everybody as an equal, as a man or a woman? Just you be you and I'll be me, and we all have qualities that we have to respect, and we complete each other. We don't have to go against each other. How about that? No, more people? No, we have to put everybody down. Okay, that's no, that's not okay. You're crazy, crazy people. So the same thing happened with Supergirl in the show. She had to, beat Superman to prove that she's better. Those things are absolutely disgusting, and they put both characters down, not just elevating the woman. No, she looks a lot worse like that. She does not appear to be the stronger character, just the opposite. And the man is no longer a man. They're just emasculated in all kinds of horrible ways. So yeah. And again, this is the Lara that I want to see on screen. I'm sure that there's actresses like this. I'm sure. I'm sure. Okay. Now, Tsunami, we have maybe 5 minutes, not more. So
Okay.
please read whatever you can, guys. This is how it is today. We are very tight on time. We usually read all comments after each news. Today we just can't do that. So read whatever you can, then we're gonna go.
Okay, cool. I'm back over on the 40k Empress channel. I'll start there. Accardian, do GW still try and make female custodies a thing? Yeah, it's possible. We're all going to find out tonight. Fenris86, I'm sorry I didn't say hello. There might be custodies in tonight's preview by GW. We'll see. Would be hilarious if it's the new Sisters of Silence. That would be funny. Fenris continues with Jolie had charisma. I don't know Sophie Turner. I've only seen her in Game of Thrones. There was a X-Men movie she did where they redid the Phoenix Saga again. So there was that. By the way, Kathleen Kennedy's out. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We skipped that. KK's out. Who take over? It's Dave Filoni and some woman. So you guys can expect more trash from Star Wars. So Star Wars will not become any better then. I don't think so. Kind of pointless to cover. If you know, nothing will change. Star Wars not doing well with Disney. True. We'll see if the Kennedy curse will linger or disappear. Yeah. Ahsoka and Acolyte were already done by Filoni. We already know what's going to happen. Bahadur, B4H4D4. I don't know what your name's supposed to be, bro. Hello. Female Custodies. It's sad that Warhammer got affected by the bullshit, woke crap, delusional, insane trash. Such a shame. I'm still playing the Survivor trilogy, says Truth. I'm barely hanging in there. What time is the show? Bahada. Thank you. I didn't see that. Bahada. Got it. Bahada. Thank you. And I apologize.
Sorry,
Lord Dragneel,
nobody heard what I said. I was muted. Only you heard what I said. Because So the hour. I mean, the show is in 9 hours, 26 minutes, and 40 seconds. You have a countdown on warhammercommunity.com page.
Thank you very much. Lord Dragneel in the house. If I didn't say it already, Kayla says, I have bigger chest and hips. I could play Larry Crafton. Nice. You need to have chest to do the tsunami. I don't disagree. I think I illustrated my points. She looks like Cardio Bunny, not Muscle Mommy. I don't think she needs to be Muscle Mommy. I just think that. So in the bodybuilding competitions, at least my familiarity with it, she would fit into the bikini category. The so-called athletic category is the type that I think Empress is talking about. And the bodybuilding category is a no-go. Nobody wants to see that for Laura. Kano says Tsunami started fuming when he saw Laura. I mean, not really. I had to think for Sansa Stark. And I mean, she's great, but like that's not for this role. She's also a weirdo in her off time. But anyways, Tinkle Fairy says, I've seen girls at my gym that could do a better job. Laura, agreed. River 1,000 Miles with the hot take. I think this Laura is more attractive than Angelina Jolie and by a wide margin, which is wild.
Wild. That's so wild. Like, what makes her hotter than Angelina Jolie? Angelina Jolie had a great physique. Everything about her was great, and she actually has a lot more boobs, bad it or no. She just does.
Hey, man, whatever you like, bro. That's how we roll around here. You like what you like. Anyways, funny thing is, Empress, most of the woke chicks that say it's unrealistic, they rock that 42+% body fat. Facts. Where's Laura? I don't see the rack, says Joey. True, pardon my French, where are the boobas? She put them on the screen for us, guys. That new game, now all of a sudden that new game seems really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because she actually has like 3 times more boobs than than what we see and what we'll see in the Amazon series, yeah.
And Tsunami's from Northern Canada. Go fuck yourself. No, the fuck I'm not. I'm fucking America like a motherfucker. But anywho's, and over back on the 40k channel, we've got Bada saying, what time's the show? Bahada. All good, bro. Thanks. I appreciate it. 9 hours. Exciting. Do you have a YouTube channel as well? I don't know if you're talking about me. If you're talking about me, I do not. I just, for some reason or other, I'm around here a lot.
Yeah, Tsunami is great, so yeah, he's just amazing. So that's why he's here.
Joey says, correction. It's Larry in the Netflix one, not Laura. It's Larry, not Laura.
Yes.
And we're all caught up.
Okay, that's great. Okay, guys, so in 9 hours, when is that? That's like in 9 o'clock. I have to stream this tonight. Probably going to be on their Twitch channel. Maybe it's going to be also on YouTube. I have to check, but I'll try to prep for that because we do have to see what's going to be. Mostly, they're probably going to review some miniature stuff that I'm not usually covering because I'm not into the miniature game. I neither have the place to do that nor the money. This is extremely expensive. But yeah, I'm a lore kind of a deciphering what everything means person, not the roll the dice miniature person. Even if I wanted to, it's just impossible physically. But in any case, whatever happens then, I'm gonna capture what's most important in terms of, are there gonna be any female custodies revealed in miniatures, whatever it is. Whatever is relevant for this channel and this type of Warhammer content that I cover, we'll cover it, watch the whole thing. Maybe I'm gonna cut whatever is important for that stream, but that's my main idea. No Batman playing on the gaming channel tonight. No Batman. We gotta cover Warhammer. So this is going to be only on the 40k channel. So if you're watching here now on the 40k channel, because I'm also streaming on the G Hammer Empress channel, the gaming channel, just tune in to everything is going to be on the 40k channel. Tsunami probably not going to be able to make it, but Tsunami still, if you are making it, I'll be happy to have you in 9 hours in general.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so with that being said, yes?
No, you're good.
Okay, so with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching and the support of Dear Clyton and an amazing roadkill. Now, whoever supports the channel is going to see their names in the credits at the end first, and that's extremely important. So thank you so much, guys. Love ya. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time with me, the 40k Empress, and the awesome Tsunami. Bye bye.
See you guys.
The 40k Empress leads the way as warriors of the imperium sway into realms where dangers play, where hidden minds hold sway. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with faith and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. For the imperium we prevail. Beneath the grand cathedral spires, plots twist like smoldering fires, but with her blade of pure desire, she claims the stars entire. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. For the imperium we prevail. Through storms and battle cries, her banners pierce the darkened skies. With bolter hymns the traitor dies as loyal warriors